Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to 1minutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about the forehand, and I want to talk to you about the precise biomechanics of the difference between the loading phase of the forehand and the acceleration phase. And as an example of this, I want to show you some work that we've done with a truly exceptional young player. This is Sophia. She's visiting us from Germany, and she already plays at a very high level. And what we're going to show you is how she's changed the technique from the loading phase to the acceleration phase of the forehand to create way more topspin, more safety, more racket speed, and a better stroke. Before we look at the technical changes that we've made for Sophia's forehand, we need to look at the different phases of the forehand stroke. And essentially there are three. We have a loading phase to the stroke where energy has been stored and developed, and then we have an acceleration phase to the stroke, and then we have a deceleration phase to the stroke. And in the loading phase to the stroke, there should be a supination of the forearm. That is where the forearm opens and turns to the sky. To have a greater understanding of this, let's just have a look at the supination of the arm. This is where the forearm opens to the sky. If I'm in a Western grip, then the closed racket turns into a slightly closed racket. If I'm in a semi-Western grip, then the semi-closed racket turns into a neutral racket. And if I'm in an Eastern grip, then the slightly closed racket actually opens very slightly. But in all instances, the movement is the same as the forearm has rotated in a clockwise direction, storing energy, and building momentum. And now as I move forward from this supinated position, I'm going to have ulnar deviation, where the racket lags behind. Ulnar deviation is this motion here. This is radial deviation, this is ulnar deviation. And the racket is going to lag behind. So I have supination, ulnar deviation, and then contact with the ball and deceleration. So supination, ulnar deviation, and acceleration to deceleration. In Sophia's excellent forehand, she's won many tournaments and has a very high ranking in her age group. Phenomenal results, but the forehand had too much control because the supination phase was taking place in the acceleration phase of the stroke, and this limited racket speed. See the correct position, supination in the loading phase, the incorrect position, supination in the acceleration phase. Loading phase, acceleration phase. So to change this excellent stroke, to change this very good stroke into a great stroke, we're going to emulate the technique of Elena Rybakina and Yannick Sinner, not the worst people to follow. And so as Sophia goes into the loading phase of the stroke, then what's happening is we're actually creating full supination of the forearm at the very beginning of the loading phase, here. So rather than it being late so she can get it wrong and supinate here, we're making supination here and then accelerating through. And to do this, all she has to think of is turning the racket to face the back fence. So natural way, the racket face was facing the side fence and supination is late. The new way, the great way, is to make the supination early in the stroke, and that means that in the loading phase of the stroke she has the rotation of the arm, and now she's creating a stretch shortening cycle of the arm where the arm is stretched and then going to snap back and shorten through the stroke. So loading first, loading second, and accelerate. Sophia is only 11 years old, but with fantastic concentration and fantastic application, she's able to apply this to her forehand almost immediately. And then she'll create the wonderful paradox of modern technique. And the wonderful paradox is that the faster she swings at the ball, the more the ball will go in. And then from this very young age, she'll become more brave, more fearless, and people will wonder how she can play such aggressive shots under pressure. But perfect biomechanically crafted technique mean that you can play tremendous tennis even in the most stressful situations. Sophia made this change in minutes and it will last her a lifetime. Make sure that the supination is in the loading phase of the stroke, and then allow the wrist to ulnar deviate in the acceleration phase of the stroke, and you'll be guaranteed a truly great forehand that's safe, powerful and secure. If you like my ideas, check out our books on Amazon. We have books on every aspect of the game, and the books are broken down into the biomechanics and science of the stroke, and then with super simple explanations, we help you to take your game to the next level. Or join players in over 40 countries all over the world of all ages and all levels that I'm helping with one-to-one online coaching. For more information, check out the website or simply email me. So check out Sophia's excellent technique. It was already a good forehand. This technique change turns it into a great forehand. Make your forehand into a great stroke and you'll play bigger and better tennis today. Thanks for watching and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.